right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Word with Ty Brownlow. I am your host, Ty Brownlow. And remember, no one is worthless, no story is worthless. Today, ladies and gentlemen, do I have a surprise for you. Man, let me give you a couple of words about this lovely guest I have on the show. Artist, singer, songwriter, dancer, musician, overall talent. Man, that's just all I can say, overall talent. Joining us today, the one, the only, MJ Songstress. Hey, you know what? I love it.
You got to drop the bomb, too. You got to take it back. Funkmaster Flex.
Hey,
yeah.
You know what? I'm letting you know right now, people, I already know this is going to be a dope interview. Just the energy alone, I can just tell you it's about to be wild out here. All right.
Thank you so much for having me, first of all. What's up to the audience? What's up, y'all? Woo!
See,
I'm happy to be here.
That's what's up. That's what's up. No problem. So, look, let's just get right into it if you don't mind, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, first and foremost, you have a hit single, Carousel. And as we were sitting up here talking before we started, recording, I've heard it. I've listened to it about 6 times. I've heard the original version and I've heard the remix version. Both are dope. Mm-hmm. I'm loving the sound. I'm just loving it sonically, how it comes through, how it makes me feel, very light, man, heavy on the, man, I don't want to pop lock and all that, but
you described it perfectly with your body. It's like, it's not words, it's a shoulder bop, it's a vibe. It's
oh my God.
Whatever that is as a word, you just did it with your body. Thank you.
But it's very high energy and I love it.
Awesome.
So not only that, but you came with the remix now. And not only did you come through with the remix, you came through with the remix with some legends. Naughty by Nature, okay? And not only that, your song was featured on Growing Up Hip Hop. So let's just talk about it a little bit. How did first the collab come about?
Oh, the collab. Okay. Well, if I may take it even a little bit back before the collab, when the song was created, my producer, my brother from another, my mentor, shout out to Tyrese Jones, Ty Jams out in Ohio. When we get together, it's always a vibe. I'll go in, I'll say what's up to his family, we chill, we'll either pop a bottle and just be like, okay, what are you currently listening to? What's on your phone? What's on your iTunes? What's going on? And we'll just swap and see what hits us. And I remember I was feeling the hip hop, because it's always about the drums, even if it's not a hip hop track, just the backing, let's just go with the balls of the record, the foundation.
Yes.
You got to have a good kick drum, a good pop, an 808. And I was feeling K-Tronada. So K-Tronada, it's house, it's world, then he wants to go funk, but it's soul. And then he adds Latin infusions and then African, touches. So I'm like, whatever he's on, let's try to figure that out in a drink though. To make a concoction and see what's going on. And I was showing him a album from Sergio Mendes called Brasilero. And Brasilero was based around foundation of African, super roots and culture. And there's all these drums instrumentation. Remember when it came out with it was just African, Latino, Afro-Latino, just a whole combination. And it inspired me. I want, something's pulling me energetically towards this. I don't know what that is yet. And on one of the songs, one of the songs on the album, I think it's called Es Conjuros or something. It's just a vibe. And the sound is like this beautiful African choir. The women, they're so tight with their vocals. And Tyrese comes down, he's like, what is that? I'm like, I don't know. But he's like, give me that. Because his ear is crazy. So he's like, come back to me in the morning. So I'm like, okay. So just kind of chilled with his wife. They had a setup for me, like a guest room. And all of a sudden the next morning, I just heard, and I'm like going up the stairs, like, what is that? and he took a good piece of the sample,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why you hear it. So I'm like, dude, you're nuts. I'm nuts. You're nuts. We're nuts. And he's like, what's, what's hitting you? And I'm like, I don't know. It sounds like they're saying carousel. He's like, how did you get carousel out of the? I'm like, I don't know. That's what's calling me. So there you have like the beginning from how that record got started. Then it just was given so much energy to different people. Like I know sometimes if I do a particular song, it's not going to hit everybody, but I really look forward to the different cultures and people and nuances that I can reach. Okay, this song touches these people and this song touches these people. I want to try to always find like no stone unturned, every corner, just like whoever I can touch. I like to think worldwide and culture and community, but just expansion. It's a big ask, but I look forward to put it in the work. So when we were thinking of, all right, cool, let's put some new energy around this. I don't know what, I think I was eating with my team and we were finishing up a photo shoot or video shoot. And out of nowhere, I was just like, hey, why don't we is there any way we can get like Naughty by Nature? They're like, where in the world? That is the most random. Where did that even come from? I said, well, first of all, like it's global. They are the foundation of hip hop. Clearly, yeah, we can go to the Drakes and the different babies that are out there, which they're dope. Mm-hmm. However, it's everybody's going to that. Why don't I go obscure and so random? Because let's not forget the ones that started it all. Let's continue to give them their flowers. I didn't know they were still, touring, and I love the 90s, and I didn't know about a show. So it wasn't like, oh, they got stuff coming. Let's utilize. I didn't know what they were up to. I just said, I do their stuff all the time, even in my gigs. When I'm just over here jamming in New York City, I always mash up Hip Hop Hooray! Oh, just to get, and it always is a crowd. Hey, it's a crowd pleaser and a jumper. Immediately people wake up. So it's like, why not? Just see if, it's let's see if they're down to do it. And the funniest thing ever, my management team and JoJo Brim and Jimmy Manus, I didn't know manages them. So he's like, that's like a phone call away, right? And I'm like, shut up. Oh my God. And when Tretch heard the record and they discussed it as a group, they were like, yo, let's do this. I'm down. So they had done it to the original, what you heard, Carousel. Yes. But then when we started doing different activations, we had a dub, a remix, a trap remix, and then a house remix. I went back into the studio. I'm like, I know Tretch put his vocals on this, but I need to hear him in this pocket, and I think it's going to sound sick. And even though this from Mission, them and on, I think when he heard himself back, he's like, oh shoot, I sound good on the house record. And it just brought this, I'm sweating right now as I'm talking about it. It brought just a whole different element. It went from one thing, K-Tronada-ish vibe, and heavily inspired, to this house fusion. And I was like, wow, first of all, Tretch killed it. Then found out he featured it on Growing Up Hip Hop. I was so honored. I was really grateful. I was like, dude, oh my God, it can't even get, it already was great with you. But thank you for featuring it, on your platform. And then people were hitting me up like, oh shit, I saw you on Growing Up Hip Hop, bitch. Yes. I was like, yes. I'm so sorry. Can we curse on your show?
Yes, you can. Come on now.
My bad. I get hyped and in the moment. So
look, I love it. Come on.
Yeah, no, but Tretch was just awesome. And he was in and out, him and Vin just going through so many things that I was just so grateful that he at least took the time. And Jimmy flew over. If I gotta get him in the booth, I will get him in the booth. I'm like, please. So yeah, it's a team effort. And really, it just all goes back to, if it's the why, my answer would be, why not? Again, I wanted they're still relevant. So I get, the saying, the slang is old school, but there's nothing old about them, because you play their record in the club today and it's as fresh as a new Drake single dropping. Just what it does to spaces and cultures and just vibes. It doesn't matter the color of your skin or where you're from, or even if you understand English. the vibrations that it creates is
Mm-hmm.
what I personally wanted on my record. And I'm like, man, what are the chances if they would even be willing to support a young and a new artist coming up, that respects what they've done and what they're still doing. And the fact that they were just an easy yes, man, like, look at God and my team. So heck yeah. I mean, shit, I'm walking around talking about I got Naughty by Nature on my record. Ew, hater.
Hey, like, how many people can say that though? And to your
Yeah.
point, like, I'm just going to say it, like, listening to this story and listening to you talk, about the story and how everything came together. I talk about a science of everything. There's a science to everything. There's a science of sound. Okay.
Yeah.
And for you to even recognize, certain melodies, certain tunes, like the way, like, the bass line a hit, or you know what? Okay, what if I put this with this, and even to take it back to the essence, like the culture, which we will talk about in a second, to get a Naughty by Nature, on the album, well, on the single, as you said before, man, you could have went a totally different directions. That pretty much, as you said, hey, could have went with a Drake, could have went with a Cardi, could have went with, whomever, that's hot out right now, to like, take it to the next level. But no, I want to take it old school, because there's something foundational about the old school that, man, look, you put that on here, use it, put it together, package it, put it out. We got something. Yeah. We got something.
And I was also thinking, like, the diversity, the dynamics, and also the demographics. So the even the ones with wisdom, the old school people be like, "What? Naughty by Nature's on a new record." You got the what do they call them now? The millennials and the Gen Zs. Like, oh wait, those are those people that do hip hop hooray, right?
Right.
It just continues the conversation of, like, let's not forget now the legends.
Yeah.
And also the pocket. I knew, of course, with the times, sounds change. Hi-hats are changing, and there's a trap sound, and then it went from 808 to now give us the the 16th of on the hi-hat, and then there's also different flows, even when it comes to rappers and the different pockets. Sure. And I totally get it. I love what's going on. Like the Migos, like what they brought, that styling. But I was like, because that's so relevant now, why not give a different touch and a taste current to what used to be, but still have it be like, oh shit, I like the way he approached that. I liked his pocket. It'll stand out based on what's going on today, because everyone's doing the same. I get it, and I love it so much. I just wanted to take it back,
Hey, look, I love it, and like the story only makes me love it more now, Hey. So now when I go back and listen to it, okay, I got it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I put two and two together. Like, I sort of had the formula in my mind, but this is really what it is. I wasn't too far off, but yeah,
no, not at all.
Now I can see the clearer picture, and yes, I see it all coming together. And let me just say, for the record, like, it's refreshing to hear, people like yourself, like, refer back to the essence, and even like music knowledge. And as I said before, the science of sound, like, for you to even know the different types of like kicks and hi-hats and, bass, like levels or what have you, just to like sonically, to make a great sound, man, that just really tells who you are deep down inside. Okay. That's just me personally, like, no, I don't know if anybody else is going to say that, but
you're pulling my heartstrings, and you're speaking to my spirit right now, because the beautiful introduction that you gave me, I'm again very humbled by every verb, adjective, every word that you said, and how you see me just from doing your research, and actually to what you said too, aside of being a musician, especially starting up with my dad with a 10-piece orchestra and learning from him, because he led with the bass. I was just very clear. Like I mean, not to be a weirdo, but with music, when I listen to music, it's colors for me. So I really zone out. Like, and people might think I just disconnected. I'm not present.
Oh,
I'm a weirdo. But my father instilled in me into like taking the music and listening to it as a whole, and first enjoying the sonically what the project and how it was all formed, but then locking in, like tuning in, like pick apart the bass. And he would ask me, what's the bass doing? Boom, 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 boom. But like, what's the guitar doing? What's the syncopation? Show me on my knee. And I'd be like, so I have a way of splitting instruments. And sometimes I thought, oh, it's a normal thing. I guess everyone does it. But when I talk to certain friends of mine, they're like, I don't hear it. I'm like, so maybe, okay, cool. This is one of these gifts. All right, now, thank you, God. I appreciate that. But yeah, just with everything, and also being a band leader. I'm a band leader and a musical director. So leading, some strong kings behind me, especially in my band, they're looking at me like, we watching you. Where are we going? So I have to be in tune with what's going on to be able to either cue them in or segue, transition, 4 on the floor, bass line, fill it up, bridge up, bridge down, F sharp, B flat. Like, so I take pride, and I'm grateful that I had the teachings and the schooling, starting with my dad and then building up, in the streets, jam sessions, lounges, wherever it was that I showed up. The musicians were my professors. And so then I just kept going, like, oh, I'll take a piece of this, I'll take a piece of this, every studio session, every tour, every stage, and just started. I have a lot going on up here.
well, no, I love it. I love it. And, hey, as I said before, it's like a science of sound. But man, the vibes, vibrations, what they say to you, what they sing to you, as you said before, it's like colors. And yes. If you go back and even if you check like legends like Jimi Hendrix, I remember Jimi Hendrix saying something like, he sees color. He doesn't see people as people, he sees people as color. So if you come off as a certain color to him, that's the vibe that you're giving off.
Always, you're speaking my language, yes.
So
energy, vibrations, what's coming up for me in this moment? Do I rock with you, or am I still trying to figure you out?
Man, like what's what. So look, oh my God, you know what? We just had a gospel moment right now. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
You got that anointing there.
But no, okay, but like let's speak on it a little bit more because man, you just gave us like an insight to like your upbringing and to your schooling, and as you said before, even like leading bands and things of that nature. Like let's talk about your connection to the culture and essence of hip hop. What does all that mean to you, and how did all this come to be?
I mean, shoot. Besides how dope hip hop is, and it'll never go away.
That's right.
I'm continuously a student. That's another thing my dad instilled. Just when you think you got it, keep that space, an open space for continued learning, and staying grounded. Even inside what people may call the healthy ego, the id, if you really want to get philosophical, everyone has an ego, but as long as it's in check, that healthy ego is what will, I guess, continue the good vibrations and the blessings is what I like to believe in. But also being true, like I know who I am. Everyone's got to know their worth, and it took me definitely a journey and experiences to really come together to be like, okay, I believe in myself. So that's first and foremost. But yeah, knowing the foundation. And I mean, I was born in Queens, New York, and I am very clear. If people, you can Google it, you could Wikipedia it, but the foundation of where it started, and correct me if I'm wrong, because everyone likes to claim something, but back in the Bronx in New York City, where it was all about African Americans and Latino Americans and Afro Latinos and the Caribbean, and just that fusion and breakdancing and just everything really was coming out from the Bronx. And then, then Brooklyn and then Queens, because, LL Cool J, and then you got Jay-Z from Brooklyn. And so it just all fused together. But realistically, I believe even the foundation, I could take it back to, because he was my previous boss. When I toured with Nile Rodgers and Bernard Edwards, may he rest in peace, coming up with the bass line, like the sickest bass line ever. And then for the guys, rappers delight to be formed, and how that continued, and even people still take samples from that. So yeah. I love finding out where things come from, and I got to give kudos to my mom, because growing up, every time I would be like, "Oh, this is my record," she'd be like, "You know where that came from, right?" And then she'll whip out her 45 and then play it. I'm like, oh, that just would bug me out. I loved how producers got creative. And Jay Dilla would take certain things, and Timbaland and Pharrell, and I'm like, wow. Like Pharrell, we do this on gigs all the time. It's getting hot in here. So, but it's like, I feel like busting loose, and then that was taken from something else. So I just am really fascinated by where the seed and then what it grew into. But absolutely understanding the culture. I've always respected it. I give my brothers and sisters their flowers. Before that even was a saying, I was like, I love you guys. I love this music. And jazz, my father raised me on jazz, knowing where that formulated, rock and roll. My dad kept it very clear with me on where things started from. And actually my dad really has just been the leader and my mentor. I mean, he had a dream. He was born and raised in Mexico, but he had a dream, like, okay, New York City, the city of dreams. If you make it, like, if I can make it there, freaking Frank Sinatra, New York City, the place of possibilities. He knew he wanted to go there. He's a multi instrumentalist, plays everything. But wouldn't you know, you're gonna love this. Wait for it. He had a band in Acapulco, and they were the killing band. They were playing soul, funk, rock. And people from New York would come, like, see them and be like, you guys got to come to New York. We need this in the club. So that was also another connection that he had to coming to the States. But he was playing all of Kool and the Gang, Earth, Wind and Fire, which is actually how he learned English. You'd go and talk to him, he'd be like, it's so nice to meet you. But you saw him on the bass or the guitar. Do you remember? So really? In my mind, my grandparents are Earth, Wind, and Fire.
The elements.
Honestly, Earth, Wind, and Fire, everything. I freak out when I still hear, like my dad, everywhere, every day, his foundation, which became mine, were Earth, Wind, and Fire, which still is today. So I geek out over them. When they did the verses, I was there, like, with my popcorn, like, yeah, play another song, So just, my parents, my mom, everything that she had, her collection of 45s, going through it as a kid, like, what the hell is this? What is this big thing? I don't understand. But going through it and playing everything and just hearing, oh wow, the sonically how things were back then, and how people are still, I mean, even now there's songs that I'll hear the sample, I'm like, man, people don't even know where the original of this. And I still respect that. I always will. The culture, heck yeah, always. I mean, being a woman of color, I've always understood the foundation, still continue to make sure that I'm well educated and versed around it. And it's always about, for me, I grew up around the Black culture, Black artists, soul, jazz, rock and roll, fusion. And so when it came about hip hop, oh my God, I was in there. I looked like a disconnected young kid, but I was connected. I was connected to what I needed to be connected to with my headphones everywhere I went. Didn't matter if my mom was going shopping. Yeah, just great, cool. I have my headphones. So, I was really just engulfed in music. I didn't pay attention to anything else.
I love it. I love it. I love it because, like, you are man, you are the child of music. Okay.
Thank you.
There's no other way to put it. Like everything that you just talked about, even going back to the Dillas and the Pharrells and, you know, Earth, Wind and Fire, like I could just name, man, random, you know, Earth, Wind and Fire songs or what have you. And, you know, just to possess all this knowledge, all this culture, you know, and to take, you know, these lessons or what have you and transform them sonically into what, you know, you have now and what you created, like in the process. I don't even know if we have enough time to go into like, you know, what all that means, but look.
Of course.
That just means to say that, hey, MJ Songstress is dope. That's all I gotta say. Like, y'all,
hey man,
program.
I love this music so much. I mean, it just really, it's not something that I just said, I think I want to be a singer and be famous. No, my dad, hey, blame it on the father. You know, it was his humble beginnings. It's how he paid the bills.
Right.
We lived in a very humble 1-bedroom, I don't even know what it was. It was a closet in Bayside, Queens. And my parents, I remember, I have these visions. It's weird. They ask me all the time, how do you remember this? But they slept on like this rolled up, it looked like a taco couch that unfolded and then folded back into somewhat of like a bean bag. And they gave me the room and my dad's papers and music sheets. And, you know, music was just all around. You kind of had to just squeeze your way through. But that was my dad's studio and bringing in musicians to have rehearsals. They didn't have, you know, money to go get, you know, hook up a rehearsal studio space or something. You know, that's just what my parents were doing. And I was around it. Even if I tried to be something else, it wasn't going to happen. It was music. And I really just love it. I'm so passionate about it that as music continues to evolve into whatever, I feel like it's coming back. I always knew it would come back, so that's why I'm in love with Silk Sonic. I literally, if I ever met Bruno and Anderson .Paak, I'd be like, come here, because I always believed it would come back when people thought, no, we're going here, it's about trap, or it's about pop, or it's about, I was like, no, it's going to come back. I don't know who's going to be the one to do it, but it's going to come back. So the fact that that's trending and it's top 40 considered and it's getting these awards as it should, I'm like, yes, there's hope for me. Because
well, let me just say this. I mean, Bruno Mars, you know, he sort of put himself on the map, you know, like previously, you know, with like certain like projects. But I tell people all the time, Anderson .Paak, I was living out in LA like for, you know, a couple of years before I moved back here to Chicago. And I can tell you, like, I first heard of Anderson .Paak on Knowledge. He's like a beat maker, and they had like projects and things like that. And, I was like, okay, you know what? Hey, I don't know. Well, before then, I heard him on Dr. Dre's compilation of Compton.
Right.
Take it back. How he got down on that, I'm like, yo, like, like who's this dude? So I think he's, man, very underrated. And like you said, I'm glad that, you know, now they're starting to see the light and he's starting to get the, you know, just due he deserves as well.
As he should, because he's a phenomenal musician as well. I mean, him just on the ones and twos and singing, that's not easy.
Yes.
I've always been a super fan of him. So when I saw them connect, I was like, oh, this can't get any better. I love it. Yeah, it gives me chills as I'm talking about it. But yeah, just super lover, absorber, and a sponge of music.
Well, man.
I walk, talk, breathe music. That's it.
Well, I mean, like, okay, so let's get into this real quick. You know, while we have this time, you know, you were a top 20 finisher. Okay, on NBC's The Voice. All right. Now, look, let's just like say, man, look here. Yes, we giving out flowers today. Okay, top 20 finisher on NBC's The Voice. Okay, as part of Team Usher. Yeah. You just asked, like, what did you take away from that experience? Because as we just talked about, you know, you like having all this like organic growth in music, and now you get to present it, you know, mainstream sort of, you know, on a national stage. What like what did you walk away from that, you know, experience, like taking away?
Ooh, how long is your show? I can give a really quick answer. I can give a heavy. I don't, it might go spiritual, but uh, y- oof,
Well,
yeah.
okay, just give us the quick spiritual version of it if you
Okay, cool.
can.
So first of all, I mean, I still am, I mean, an Usher fan from the beginning. So I was very clear that I was gonna pick Usher. You know, I
Yes.
wanted to be the female Usher, and I walking away uh, from it all. There were so many things that were happening that people, the viewers at home, don't really understand or see the real behind the scenes and how things are orchestrated.
Mhm.
Like, let's not forget it's a TV show. Um, but for me, instead of going the anger, bitter, upset, and then falling into an unworthiness place
Mm.
in my life, I took it as okay, there was a reason that God made my train stop here for a second. And it's up to me to choose the interpretation I'm going to lead with it. And I realized, okay, I've done all this. I made a stop. I got a little taste of the show, the TV life, okay, and how things roll. Cool. And now, where am I driving? Because I need to be in the driver's seat this time,
Yes.
because there was a piece of me that's like, it was desperate. Maybe I need this. Maybe, oh my God, my time's up, or I need a show. But the fact that I got on there and people saw me and are able to still Google, or whether they remember me or not, it was an experience. And the best thing that Usher, I'll never forget, and the words ring to this day. He he said to me during one of the rehearsal shootings, he said, "Luck favors the prepared."
Mm.
And I was like, huh, luck favors the prepared. So ever since then, I've always been a very ambitious woman, very determined,
Mhm.
but that stuck and rang so true to me, to, instead of, oh, I'm gonna get ready when it's time, how about be prepared from now, because you just never know what's gonna come up. Luck favors the prepared. So I can humbly say I'm prepared. I'm, whatever it is, I've worked so hard. Even if there was no opportunity, it was the freak. It's black. The tunnel is black. And
Right.
then with the pandemic, I just said, no, no, no. Let me continue my activity to keep myself up as an artist, as a woman, my mental health, my spirituality, you know, my physical, what makes me feel good, so that I'm already ready, as opposed to rushing to get ready. So that rang true to me. And I remember he gave me a big hug and he's like, look at me, listen to me when I tell you, look at me. And I'm looking at him because I was like, I don't want to cry. He goes, when one door closes, another will open. And he was shaking my hand because it's like TV lights, it's on stage, he's mic'd. And I felt like he's trying to tell me something in code. When one door closes, another will open. And I'm like,
Wink.
got it. I wasn't meant to continue. Okay, okay, all right. I could walk away feeling good that yes, top 20 in the show, but I was top five with you. Okay, you know, you chose
Mhm.
me. And then it became, okay, who am I? Knowing my worth, um, standing in my truth, because
Mhm.
it can, for many artists, and I hope whoever is listening who is an artist, you know, don't let anybody pull you. A lot of people are going to try to say you're this and you're that and your name should be, or you should do this. You got to start with you, and then you come with the package. This is who I am, this is my name, this is my music, this is what I want to talk about, this is my message, this is who I am, and boom, amen. So just it became like really locking in self,
Mm.
and making that permanent, making that super permanent, because I still was probably a little wobbly, a little unsure, and
Right.
second guessing myself and being apologetic and kind of asking for permission. I needed to let that go. So that's what I walked away with from The Voice, and then really truly stepping into MJ Songstress, the businesswoman, the brand,
Yes.
the authentic woman artist vocalist that I am, that I always was, but now I could say, no, 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 I am
Like,
today and moving forward. So that's what came out for me
okay.
during
Ooh.
that experience.
What?
Yeah.
Look.
And you know, shout out to Usher. He was absolutely phenomenal. He actually did not play to camera.
Mm.
He was true. He's a spiritual man. He says some shit that you're like, can I write that down? Can you say that again? And
I
that's why
love,
I'll always support him because he's not a fake at all.
but
He's
see,
true to who he is.
I love it when people give those types of perspectives because
Hmm.
we look, as a person who sits on the outside and I'm
Hmm.
viewing, I don't
Hmm.
know. In my mind, I have a concept of how this is, and usually usually is way
Yeah.
wrong. But as you sit here and tell that, like,
Hmm.
no, this is really what it was, and man, like it was the connection, and
Yeah.
man, I was this, and one door opens, the other door. I mean, when one
Yeah.
door closes, the other opens. I'm
Yes.
trying to tell you, like, there's a hidden meaning behind all that.
Absolutely.
And with that, that goes into my next question. Okay. So,
Hmm.
look, for those of you who, as I said before, if you don't know who MJ Songstress is, first of all, you slipping. Do your homework. Second of all, man, let me just tell you some of the people, just a few of the people now she's worked with. Okay. Let me see if you
Okay.
recognize any of these names. I don't know. Swiss Beats. I mean, I don't know. He may have done some work before. I don't
Yeah,
know.
right. The
Some
freaking
guy,
king of the pandemic now for
Right.
verses.
I mean, he may be married to some lady, what, Alicia Keys?
Yeah,
I never heard of
right.
her. Oh, but,
Absolutely right.
you
Right.
know, Wyclef John, I don't know. You may have heard of Wyclef,
Sakpase Nabule.
come on, some group, Fuji's,
Right.
man, look here, stop, all right? And you mentioned it before, but I'm going to bring it right back around again, okay? Nile Rodgers and Chic.
Yes,
Look here.
my man. So
I'm
dope.
trying to tell you all, if you all don't really, man, do your homework, check the history. Man, Nile Rodgers and Chic, very, very influential on music, especially in the mid 70s, coming into the 80s, and a lot of what we hear today. So with all that being said,
yeah, do not sleep on this man at all.
Okay. With all that being said, like, talk about the influence like they have had on you, making, as far as making music.
Are you kidding me? I mean, you said it brilliantly. I think even today when I talk about Nile, I said, okay, what's gonna spark the make the connection is he's the guitar player in Get Lucky. Oh, okay. All right, now let's go back. Rap the good times. Freak out. Sister Sledge, We Are Family. He's the greatest dancer. Madonna, freaking Like a Virgin, her first single, and then Material go boom, boom, boom. David Bowie, Let's Dance. The Notorious Duran Duran. Diana Ross, I'm Coming Out. Upside Down. I mean, I can keep going and keep going and keep going. This man touched everything. Even my favorite movie. Hold up, this gets even better. That I know this. He did the freaking orchestration and instrumentation for Coming to America. It's my favorite. Oh my God, I love that movie so much. That's a whole other tangent. I'm gonna go down a way rabbit hole. But who he's been, and then to be around him and get the opportunity. Super shout out to Jerry Barnes, phenomenal bass player. He's his bass player till this day. He's the one that called me in. He's like, hey, Melly, listen, I got a gig. I need you to learn these songs, and I just need you to meet me here. Okay. And then I walk in, I see this super fly, too cool for freaking school, sitting there with his freaking guitar, chilling like, what's up? And I'm like,
what's up?
So, okay, hey, I got a seat at the table, bruh. But I'm like, oh my God, what do you say? And he goes, okay, cool. Let's go. I'm coming out. Think. Just went right into it. I like caught it. Coming out. Okay. See you on Saturday. I go to Jerry. Did I get the gig? He goes, see you on Saturday. I'm like, Mom. Oh my God!
Hey.
So I got to tour with him as one of his lead vocalists, singing all the classics, all the hits. Man, if that was not the best, 2 years of a university, that's all I needed.
Mm.
That's all I needed. The university of original funk, of Nile Rodgers, of the foundation, the king of foundation. Man, I can. The man is absolutely phenomenal. Being around him, his essence, like I swear, I'm like there's a regalness about you. Are you sure you're not like a prince on the low? You're not telling nobody. He just the way he would carry himself, and any room he walked into, he brought that in. So it's like made you want to check yourself for a second. And he was
Mm-hmm.
so smooth, very well spoken, and like meaning just smooth with how he spoke. Hey, how you doing? You good? Like very Miles Davis-ish. I always felt like I had to turn my volume down because then I felt next to him I'm loud. I didn't want to be annoying.
Right.
But yeah, he's just, and the fact that he's still doing what he's doing, touring the world. And what got me was when we would go overseas, the appreciation that overseas has for the culture.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was like stadiums and people you had to go like this, like how far back this, let's dance, and as if it just came out today on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like waves of people. There was one time I froze. I was like, this is absolutely beautiful. But yeah, I still listen to the music, to his music today, and like as if it just came out.
I love it. I love this. Look, this
Yeah.
has been an experience for me because I felt like you have taken me on your journey with you, and I'm getting to see everything that you're talking about, cause
Oh, great. I like to paint a picture.
well, man, I'm a visual person. And as I sit and I listen to you talk, I'm like in my head, I'm like, yeah, wow.
Me, what sign are you?
I'm a Virgo.
I'm an Aries. So
Oh,
fire,
see?
is it a Virgo, water, or air? I forgot. It's air. I think so. But
Yeah.
when you said visual person,
Yes.
I'm the same. So
Oh no, I'm a visionary. Like, yes, I can be a visionary at times. Like I see things before it even happens. How I even came up with this show was a vision. So it's
that's what's up. Oh, word.
word with type rap, right? Word is one of my favorite rap slangs, and I've been saying it ever since like Yo and TV raps. And so I was like, you know what? No, just make the show work. Okay, cool. There it is.
Yeah, it rubbed off on me too, coming up inside of the culture. And then I know that the new slang is no cap. No. I'm gonna stick to dead ass.
Well, I mean, but see,
I get it though. I do get
for
it.
like the younger group, because I do the show for the youth as well. So it's the no cap feedback. So,
right.
Man, I see you over there. Look here now. All right.
Look here now. Right. There needs to be a part 2 or a comeback so I could tell you, everything that I got dropping and coming up and everything. And,
Well, man,
we'll have to recap.
Look, I would love to bring you back. Seriously. We're family now. So if you're family to the show, man, yes, the door is always open for you to come back in and
thank you.
Bless us
Thank
with
you,
the parts.
King.
But
absolutely.
Before we even get out of here, I got a couple of more questions for you.
Please go for it.
All right. My next question is going to be like, what's next for you? Like, what do you have coming up? Are there shows, albums, tours? What?
Yes, sir. Well, we're still celebrating Carousel featuring Naughty by Nature, the original and also the house remix, produced by David Anthony. He's out in Sweden right now, doing big things. So it's great that there's still energy around that. But dropping at the end of this month. Woo! I can't wait for this record to come out. I think, you're the first person I'm telling you. So this is an exclusive. I know, for real. Dead ass. No cap. Dropping September 24th. I am dropping a single called Oye Como Va. And speaking of culture, Oye Como Va is known from Tito Puente, who infused African rhythms along with Afro-Latino, and then expanding into what it is. And then Carlos Santana,
yes,
he picked it up with his guitar playing.
Yes.
And so I took that and I actually created a song around it, but keeping the elements and the foundation. It's almost like I wanted to keep the spirit in the record, So I can't wait for everyone to hear you. You're the first person to hear me even talk about this song. Like, no one knows. It's supposed to be like a surprise, but I said it. I don't care. I said what I said. So yeah, that's happening. We're celebrating that release. There's going to be Oye Como Va remix that's going to really take people back. I'll just say this, to hip hop culture. That's all I'm going to say. The remix is that sick. So because you asked me about it, so I was like, no, let me give this man the right tea. He deserves it.
Thank you.
But yeah, Jimmy Manus, who is the creator around I Love the 90s, I have an opportunity to do a couple of shows with them, with Naughty by Nature, which I cannot wait to do. The pandemic, thank goodness, it's slowly coming to somewhat of an end, I pray. And so shows are beginning to align. And so my team's letting me know as we go. I'm like, just say yes, just book it. I need a stage. But the fact that I have the releases coming in, I have several releases, and I'm going to start to really bring people into my world like I did with you today, and show, okay, she's doing this, she must know the culture, as opposed to, oh, she's taking our shit. No. I'm taking certain elements and samples. No, I did not create it. It's just because I love it so much. I brought it to my producer and I'm like, do something with this. So it's going to show more and more and more of my influences and the true musicality. And again, not to sound like a broken record, the culture that I authentically grew up in and gravitated to. So I'm excited about that. And continuing to, celebrate myself and give myself and my team flowers. We're building, coming out of this pandemic was a tough one, but we're still here. And then I'm speaking to people such as yourself and being on your show. So thank you so much for having me. And I can't wait for you to hear the release when it comes out.
Well, look, as I said before, you are more than welcome to come on back. You know what I'm saying?
Yay.
Please, this has been wonderful.
Thank you.
This has been, man, seriously, this has been a joy. This has been a joy.
Thank you.
But
thank you so much.
I've come to my last question. And This is the question that my show is known for, so I'm going to present it to you. MJ Songstress, what is the one word that best describes you and why?
Damn, you had to do me like that.
I have my word already, but I just want to hear what your word is.
My word, I'm making up. You know how there's this supercalifragilisticexpialidocious?
Yes.
In this moment, in this space that you created for me, and just the conversation, which has absolutely been, especially, really, truly, I say this from my heart as an artist, phenomenal. One of my top #1 interviews ever. Because you really kept it about like music, but taking it back in culture and the whys. This truly was my favorite.
I love it.
What's coming up? No, really, I seriously mean that. What's coming up for me is extraordinarily delicious.
What? Okay.
So the word extraordinary or extraordinary speaks volumes, to reach for excellence, to do things extraordinarily, having extraordinary results. What inspires you, what things that move me. I'm determined, I'm passionate. So inside of the extraordinary, I don't come funny, I come correct. I'm detail oriented, I'm driven, I'm motivated, I'm determined, I'm consistent, I'm committed to the craft, whatever that is. Like I was speaking about mental health, mentally, physically, spiritually, organically, sonically. If I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it extraordinary. But then there's extra. I could be extra. I'm loud. I'm bubbly. I love hard. I bring my people in. So if that's extra for you, good, you're welcome. But I'm extra with my music. I'm extra with my craft. I'll tell you everything there is to know about me because you created that for me. If this was going any other way, I would have just been like, hey, cool, thank you. All right, yeah, I'm my father. Oh, I'm a musician. But people don't realize if I'm being extra is because you brought something into the space and I'm gravitating to it. And then ordinary. I could ordinary in the sense of I'm a goofball and then I'm weird. I'm definitely a weirdo. But then I can be ordinary, not your average, whatever the experience is for you. Friend, your sister, your brother, you know, your confidant, you know, your go-to, your queen, your king, whatever I am for you. I'm not your average. I'm sometimes ordinary. And then delicious. Well, you know, not just delicious, but I come with many musical palettes.
Yes.
So I like to look at things like a buffet. I can give you a little this, a little that, a little curry, a little hot sauce, a little jalapeno, a little, you know, a little something. So that's why delicious came, because I try to entice the listener and also deliver something to each individual's palate.
I love this. I love it.
So yeah, I've never given that answer before. So this is really like word.
Hey, I've never heard that answer before. So I'm like, okay, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I want to hear. But let me give you my word and then we're going to wrap this up.
Oh, please.
Since you came with that, I'm going to come with destined flavor. And I'm going to tell you why. Hold on. So we've been sitting up here talking. All right. Man, right. You have told me about like the genesis, like even like culture, you know what I'm saying? Even like the true essence of how everything has happened, you know, going back to pops, moms, you know, man, now Rogers, what have you. Everything that we've talked about has been about essence, you know, man, like the culture. Going on to The Voice when, you know, you said Usher, man, when one door closes, the other opens. As soon as you said that, I was like, you know what? That's destiny right there. You're destined for, you know, a certain type of spot. And I mean a top spot, not just getting in. No. I'm getting in and I'm getting on. You know what I'm saying? So that's, man, destined. Flavor, man, come on now. I ain't even got to like explain. Well, you know what? I'm explaining for those of you out there like, I don't know what flavor is. So I'm going to tell you what flavor is real quick. I'm going to give you 10-second version of flavor.
Flavor.
Yeah. There it is. Okay. There it is. You just said it. All right, man. Like everything that you are, that you have wrapped up, man, like that's just what it is. I am loud. I am this, man. But if I am this way, that means somebody's stirring the pot and they're bringing it out. And when you smell the flavor, you know what good flavor is. You know what I'm saying? You ain't even, man, you smell it like, oh my God, I know this is about to be great. You know, so destined flavor. That's what it's been. All right.
I love it.
All right.
Destined flavor. I'm going to keep that forever.
Boom. Man, you know what? That can be another single along the way. There you go. Man, I hope I'm influenced for that. Man.
I'm going to have to shout you out. Ty Brownlow, remember destined flavor.
There it is.
Great.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Word with Ty Brownlow. I have been your host, Ty Brownlow. Remember, no one is worthless. No story is worthless. You can follow me all social media platforms at Word with Ty Brownlow, or you could just go to my website, tybrownlow.com. As I said before, you getting this good gospel right here, plus other great interviews. MJ Songstress, look here, you got to come back. You got to come back because this has been dope. Man,
I would love to.
Ladies and gentlemen, we out. Peace.
Peace.